What is up, YouTube? Welcome to a brand new episode of the year-end special collaboration between the La Quente Ledger and Resibs. Today we are talking about episode 5 of The Witcher. We've got your 3 big takeaways. So guys, how do we break this down? Who wants to start off?
So the first big takeaway from the episode 5, we now have seen the meeting between Yennefer and Geralt.
Yeah.
These guys are the 2 biggest of the 3 characters in this show, and we now have them meeting for the very first time. They were in search of a djinn, basically a genie in a bottle, and this led to...
Sorry, I think
The song.
we all just
Yeah,
started
you
singing. Yeah,
This is how Geralt and Yennefer would meet up.
And
So
boy,
guys,
did they
what-
meet.
Yeah, man, they met all right. Yeah, I think it was kind of a weak way to get them together. I mean, I was expecting some serious plot circumstances to lead to their meeting, but this, in general, felt like a filler episode, getting Jaskier sick in order for them to take them, just coincidentally, to the nearest mage who happened to be Yennefer. So that was a little weak, but overall, I'm glad that we're finally getting them together, even though, guys, we're 5 episodes in.
Remember, this is them in the past, so they've not met each other in the present yet, so they had to meet some way in order for them, or in order for when they meet in the present, for them to have a grudge that the audience understands.
Because not always do you have this earth-shattering,
Yeah.
introduction
Just
to
coincidence,
somebody.
yeah.
A lot of the time it is, coincidence,
Yeah.
even though there's no such thing, and we know that.
Yeah.
Kind of gives a little bit of a different and more realistic tone.
I think it'll be exciting to see, like, Yennefer and Geralt's relationship develop at this point in the past where they meet, and then it'll be interesting to see whatever it is that tears them apart so terribly.
Like Jeremy was saying, it's the stepping stone
Yeah.
that we needed. But now that we see that Geralt has made this wish, and it has most likely involved Yennefer in some way.
Yeah.
It was obviously done on purpose for us to not hear the wish. When we saw the djinn kind of disappear based on this wish that was towards Yennefer, I think that, honestly, that could be what leads to their, kind of separation.
Yeah.
I think that's a good segue into takeaway point number 2. Should cut that out because it's a little awkward at the
Yeah,
beginning. Biggest takeaway number 2,
Yeah.
which is Yennefer's developing desire for power and control. We've seen her go from this sort of disfigured witch, nobody really liked her, nobody really wanted to talk to her, this outcast, to kind of manipulating her way to the top.
To the
And then
top,
we
yeah.
hear her conversation with Tissaia, yes, where she is telling her basically what's happened in the last decade since, and since then, we know that she's sort of rebelled, she's kind of left that entire kingdom, she's kind of living off of her own witching abilities and
Yeah.
kind of having people pay for her service. She still wants power, but unfortunately, in order to have the power that she wanted, she had to give up her ability to bear children.
Yeah.
And now it's been, 10 years. She lost that baby on the beach, which probably affected her, all these different things. And now she's like, well, I want a child. So
Yeah.
she wants the djinn.
That may be the cause of this discourse between the 2, because Geralt sees her, forcing orginess and, stuff like that, and maybe his wish was, to stunt her power in some way.
Ooh,
That's
that's a good
interesting,
point.
right?
She goes from somebody who, from 2 extremes. She had nothing, but she always wanted everything. And even when she gave up her ability to bear children,
She
it
thought
didn't
would
last
be-
long
Yeah,
because
she thought it
it.
would be worth it, and it wasn't.
Well, no, it was worth it. But now she wants something else.
Right.
She wants it all. When Gerald even asked her in that big scene where she was kind of birthing the child, he's like, well, what do you even want? And she's like, everything. And I think that's so true to her character. It will never be enough for her. She's going to want, even Jay, we talked about it in either episode 1 or 2, how eventually she was going to get rid of everybody in her way.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that she's left this kingdom. It's no surprise that
think-
she's on her own now.
Like you said, it has been very true to her character,
Mhm.
but it's also been something that has grown with her character.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
monster.
That the desire in her,
Yeah.
first it was just to be loved and to be respected and treated like a person.
Mhm.
But then it became, well, I want to be stronger than that. I want to be bigger than
I
that.
want to have
And
more.
now
Yeah.
it's, I want everything.
A big reason why that progression is so disturbing is that now she thinks she deserves it.
Mm,
Like she's
entitled.
talking to people and she's like, of course I'm going to get this because I
Yeah.
have this much power. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't I move up to the next
Yeah.
step?
But anyway, moving on to the third and final biggest takeaway that we've got. Guys, Nilfgaard is now in possession effectively of Ciri. So Mouse Sack has been closed. that's just a weird name. Mousak has been cloned,
Mouse.
and now
Mousak.
he has
There's a
gone
pause.
and gotten Ciri. I would assume that Gerald is going to intercept them at some point before they get to Nilfgaard, because it's pretty much game over at that point. But just the fact that a major move happened at the end of that episode.
The Dryads had, they've been fighting amongst each other in order to keep Ciri there. And just because this doppelganger person, this shapeshifter, comes in as Mousak, she trusts him off the bat because, she's known him since birth.
Mousy.
Yeah.
And the Dryads are like, well, probably not, but we're not going to fight with you.
Yeah.
And they let her go.
Like
And you can
candy
tell it
from
was
a
hard.
baby.
Yeah.
Now, one of the big things that I saw from the interaction with this doppelganger of Mousak and when they were in Brokalan was there was a lot of distinct facial movements from him. When he was embracing her to try to pretend like he was Mousak, there was almost this desire to almost eat this girl when he was first being introduced to us. It was almost like a carnivorous, like cannibalistic type of entity.
Well, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for our 3 biggest takeaways from the episode. If you've made it this far and you'd like to catch up on the rest of the episodes, I don't know why you'd be watching this one. But anyway, links to everything will be down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you like the video. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our entire coverage of The Witcher Season 1. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.